Hello, this is Coach Tim Campbell, and I'm your host for the Self-Made is a Myth, Make a Difference Together show, where we are talking with successful business owners to hear their stories of building their business. And because we know that success in business is not something that we can do on our own, we're taking some time to recognize and acknowledge the folks who have helped us along the way. I'm excited to have a fellow business owner from Indiana with us today. My guest has a passion for water treatment and the global water crisis. In his downtime, he likes to spend time with his family in the outdoors as well as doing home projects. And he's most proud of his amazing family of females. We're going to have him explain that to us here in a minute, as well as his business and the charitable impact that he is able to have through the contributions that his business is able to make. It's my pleasure to welcome Jacob to the show today. Hello, Jacob.
Hey, Tim. Thanks for having me. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. Thanks for asking. Hey, let's start with having you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of your personal story, like where you were born and live and about your families and hobbies.
Sure, absolutely. My name is Jacob Bills, born and raised in pretty much Indianapolis, Indiana, suburb of Indianapolis, really, and lived here most of my life. And I'm in my mid 30s at this point. Been a business owner for about 6 years now. Really dove into it full time, probably a little over a year ago at this point. I have three wonderful daughters, 16, 5, and 3. Wonderful wife. So there is a lot of females in my household, a lot of emotions in the house. Um, so that's all great. And as far as kind of my background goes, I've been in the water treatment industry for approximately 20 years. Worked for a lot of big names in the area. I've worked a lot of different positions, wore a lot of hats, had a lot of different titles. And yeah, once again, about a year ago, well, 5, 6 years ago, started the business. A year ago, really decided it was time to take it more serious and go full time with it.
Fantastic. You mentioned that you enjoy spending time outdoors with the family. What things do you like to do?
Yeah, I love being outside, going to parks, hiking's fun, fishing. I enjoy hunting, camping. Haven't had a lot of time to do much of that lately, but those are some good hobbies that I enjoy. I also like to get projects done with my hands, updates in the house, updating bathrooms, updating kitchens. Um, just being active and getting after it. Those are some of my favorites.
Awesome. Jacob, is there a funny story that your family likes to tell about you that you'd be willing to share with us today?
Well, I don't know about the family wanting to tell it, but actually at Avon High School, well, middle school, me and a buddy, we got in a fist fight, and we were probably some of the last people in Avon to get the maple medicine and get a good paddling. So not too many folks can say they've been paddled in school, but we definitely were, and that wasn't much fun either. So
Uh, yeah, so we're showing our age because I got the strap on the hand for swearing in I think in third grade. So I totally can appreciate your story.
yeah, things have definitely changed since those days. There'd be lawsuits
Yeah.
and files charged and everything else. So
Well, the terrible thing about my story is they called home to ask permission, and my parents said yes.
so did mine. So I either got it was either getting paddling or getting 2 Saturday schools. So I just figured, well, I've had spankings before, so I'd rather not give up 2 Saturdays and just get it over with.
Yeah. So, Jacob, tell us how the business came about, and at what point did you have the confidence that you could run your own business?
That is a great question. So how the business came about? Yeah, like I said, I've been in the business doing a lot of different roles, whether that be sales, tech support, customer service, um, installations, regular service, route driver, whatever it may be. So I did all that for 3 or 4 companies over the span of about 15 years, 15, 16 years. And a lot of people around me kept saying, why aren't you doing this for yourself? Why aren't you making your own future and destiny instead of getting everybody else rich?
Yeah.
So I really dragged my feet on it for a while, and just thought, oh, I could never be a business owner. I could never be an entrepreneur. There's just too much stress, too much headache. Um, and then finally, after a lot of thought and just seeing what I was doing and knowing the industry and having the relationships built in the industry to make us a success, it was just finally to give it a shot. So, like I said, it started out part time. I was always working for somebody else,
Mm.
and then did that for about 5 years, and then knew at that point if I wanted the business to continue to grow and be successful, and if I wanted to build an empire, I would have to be all in at some point. So that's kind of when we just said, all right, well, it's now or never, do or die. So
Fantastic.
yeah, it was a good thing. I'm glad we made the move, and I think there's a lot of excitement to come.
So tell us a little bit more about the company. What's the name? What do you guys do? And how do you help people?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're American Aqua Solutions. We are a locally owned, family owned and operated water and air purification company. We help residential markets, we help commercial markets, anything from water softening to whole house filtration to processed water to drinking water to air quality, water testing. I mean, we do pretty much anything that can be done with water and air purification, sales, service, installation. We are a 5-star company. We offer excellent prices with some of the best warranties in the business.
Awesome.
We have over probably 300 5-star reviews at this point just by taking care of people. And I'd say our big thing that really separates us is not only are you getting great equipment at a great price, you're also getting even better service to match. So we're not happy until the customer's happy. And we really pride ourselves on customer service and taking care of that customer.
Fantastic. What's your service area?
Greater Indianapolis area. So north, south, east, west, Avon, Carmel, Fishers, Greenwood. We all even go out to Hancock County, Greenfield. I usually say about 30 minutes, 30 miles ish from Indianapolis. So.
Okay, wonderful. And in your introduction, I mentioned that you have a passion for the global water crisis. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so basically, I think clean water should be available to everyone. This world pays millions and millions of dollars for entertainment and for athletes. And we still have people walking miles and miles every day to get terrible water, basically. And that's always struck me as problematic. So we try to help with that. We donate a portion of profits to Life Water Organization. That's a Christian-owned organization that helps drill wells and helps set up sanitation in some of these impoverished nations. So I'm hoping that with American Aqua Solutions, we can help with those resources, raise awareness to folks as to what's going on, and really make a positive impact in the world through water.
I love it. That is awesome. I've seen some of those documentaries on TV about the places that you're speaking of, and the brown sludge that comes out of the ground that they're drinking is just disgusting.
Yeah, imagine walking 10 miles to get that sludge.
Right.
That's a tough life. But here we are paying athletes what, 10 million a year?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Well,
seems like
thank you for making a difference. That's awesome. So, Jacob, share a story of where someone pushed you or inspired you that you could do it, even though maybe you didn't think that you could, and the impact that that person had on you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say what really sticks out in my mind there is a man by the name of Mark Timmons. Mark Timmons owns a company called U.S. Water Systems in Indy, multi-million-dollar organization, and I worked for him for years. After I left my previous company that I worked for as a service and install tech, I went to U.S. Water and I worked there for 4 or 5 years, wearing all sorts of hats, doing a lot of different stuff, really learning the business, learning the industry, learning the technologies. And then after I left, once I started to do my own thing part time, Mark would have meetings with me, and he would tell me, you need to go in all in on this. You're never gonna get this where you want it to be by having one leg in and one leg out.
Mm.
And he always believed in me. He always inspired me and pushed me to go for it and be better, so to speak. So that's coming from him, somebody that already had that established business and already was in the industry. For him to kind of put me under his wing and
Yeah.
show me the way and really push me, that meant a lot. So I'd say that's probably one of the more memorable moments, was when Mark was just saying, "Hey, you need to just quit being scared and do it." Is pretty much what he said.
Yeah. Well, what a great testament, because he was basically saying, go out there and be my competition.
Yes, yes, and no. So yeah, they started out doing a very similar system that we do as far as service and installations. Nowadays, they've gotten so large; they do a lot of e-commerce.
Okay.
So they're more international at this point.
Yeah.
So they actually, because of the relationship we've built, we take care of a lot of their local service and installations as well.
Oh,
So
wonderful. Yeah. Great.
competition, it's yes, we're in the same industry, but it's more like we work together on
Awesome.
projects. So
I love it.
it worked
So,
out good.
Jacob, what's your biggest learning as a business owner?
Oof. I'm sure you could attest to this, Tim, but yeah, just making things happen.
Mm.
You got to figure out processes. You got to figure out procedures. Sometimes you hit a brick wall and you got to regroup and say, okay, we got to try something else. It's just persistence, determination. Those are big lessons. Just not letting the world or the game or system beat you down, because yeah, what I've told people is running a business is one of the most exciting things somebody can do in life, and one of the most stressful as well. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to keep in mind, just as far as products, as far as service, as far as inventory, as far as payroll, as far as
Mhm.
procedures, policies. I mean, there's a lot to keep in mind, and obviously starting out, nobody has all that in order. So it does take time to really get the business where it can run fairly freely without needing a lot of maintenance or coddling or things like that.
I like what you said about being persistent, because there are a lot of things that come up, right? It can be a little bit of a roller coaster ride, um, and some of those things that come up can feel insurmountable, and right,
Sure.
and there isn't a solve, and you're right. We just have to stay in the game and continue to push forward and be persistent and be consistent and keep working to overcome those challenges to get to the other side.
Sure, and you're spot on there. I mean, at first I thought, oh, I'll start this business, and we'll set up a Facebook page, and the whole world's going to be just calling, knocking on my door, begging, begging for my products or service. And no, it didn't turn out that way. So there was a lot of hard work behind the scenes
Yeah.
to get people interested, to get the phones ringing, to just keep the business alive. So I think that's something that people got to consider when they're getting into doing their own business. Is, hey, this isn't easy road, but if you love what you're doing and I think you're making an impact, I think it's all worth it.
I love that. It's not as easy as you thought it would be, because I've heard this phrase before, right? If it was easy to be a business owner, then everyone would be doing
That's true. And everybody's not doing it. So I guess there's our sign, huh?
We know that business success doesn't happen in isolation. So, Jacob, tell us about one of your biggest challenges that you had during the years, and maybe a fellow business owner that came alongside you and helped you to get through that.
Yeah, biggest challenge I would say was just really scaling it from a part-time job out of the garage to a real business with employees and a building and everything like that. Just because of the work that it takes. I mean, when you start as a side hustle or side project or whatever, you don't see all the roadblocks that are coming, and you don't realize what it's going to take to actually be profitable
Mhm.
and grow. So I would say that's been a challenge that I didn't really think about in the beginning.
Sure.
But just as far as people that have helped, that Mark, he's been very helpful in the business world. He's able to help me with strategies, um, business coaches, networking groups.
Mhm.
I'd say all of those are helpful to have in mind as well, just to keep you in the right path, point you in the right direction, maybe give you some ideas you haven't thought of.
Mhm.
Because yeah, we only know what we only know, right? So it's like it's always good to have some other people in your corner that have been there, that have done that, that may be able to point you in the right direction and say, well, you're doing it this way, maybe you should try this and get these results.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty important to keep in mind.
Awesome. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. If I asked you to pick three people in your business owner journey that you're most grateful for them being there to help with your growth, who are those three people and how they help you?
I would say those three people are that's a great question. So obviously my wife, she's been a big support of mine. She's believed in me from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that
And
was
what's her name?
that's Monica Bills. Shout out to Monica. She's a badass firefighter in Avon.
Very
Um,
cool.
yeah, but she's always been a big supporter. She's always believed in me. That was great to see. My father-in-law, he's actually our general manager over here, Steve. Some people call him Jose, depending on the day. But he's been a big help as well. Big supporter. He's always pushed me to be better and really take the business more serious.
Mm.
Um, I mean, mom back in the day, she's growing up. She would always tell me, "You can be whatever you want to be, but it's going to take a lot of effort and hard work." So that was allowed me to dream and imagine.
Mm.
And I'd say once again, Mark Timmons. He's just seeing him grow. He started out of his garage as well, and like I said, now they're running a multi-million-dollar business that just keeps growing and growing. So him being on my side and saying, "Hey, you need to do this," include being scared, that meant a lot as well. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
definitely having those people in your corner to push you and support you. That's a big deal, I think, for any entrepreneur.
Yeah, because it can get lonely at the top, right? And when we're facing things that we haven't faced before, right? When we're an employee, we always had our boss we could go to and talk it out loud. But
Right,
when we are the boss, there's it's
right.
lonely.
Yeah, that's spot on. I mean, when you're an employee, you don't have to worry about all the details that the owner worries about. They can say, okay, it's 9 to 5, I'm clocking out.
Yeah.
That's the end of the day, but it doesn't work that way at the business owner. So it is nice for that business owner when he can go home to have friends or family or colleagues that he can turn to really provide some inspiration, provide some insight, and just keep the ball rolling.
Jacob, as you think about the next 3 to 5 years, what are some of the what are the biggest challenges you think that you're going to face into getting to your goals? And And who are the types of people that you're going to need to overcome those challenges?
That's a great question as well. 3 to 5 years, I'd like to have, I think another probably 2 or 3 locations around Indiana. Obviously, with that, we're going to have good management in place
Mm.
to be able to keep those running properly and keep those profitable. But then once again, having the backup with those close business minded friends and colleagues,
Mm.
that also is necessary for us to scale where we want to be. I'm hoping also 3 to 5 years, we're going to have a few mission trips of our own to
Oh,
really try to help out with that water crisis. So once again, I think it's just about having the right people in the right places, Tim.
yeah.
And without that, I don't see any small growth, large growth, scaling, whatever it is. I don't see any of that happening if you don't have good people in all the right places. Because no matter how much we think we're Superman, we can't do it all. Is what
No,
I've found. So
no, we cannot. So when you go on your mission trip, are you going to try that sludge and so that you're,
I,
appreciating the world they live in?
I will probably avoid all of that water if possible. But yeah, what I've heard that stuff do to people's bodies that aren't used to it is pretty much kill them. So I'm gonna stay away from the sludge. Hopefully, by the time we're done, we got some good water flowing
There
through
you
there.
go, right?
People don't gotta walk 10 miles to get the sludge. So.
Last question here. Jim Rohn, amazing business guru, says that we become the 5 people, or we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So as you think about that quote, what advice would you have for business owners who are trying to do it on their own, and they're not building that community, or they're not interacting with others, and they feel like they've just got to do it by themselves?
That's great. You can't. You can't. You're never gonna grow. You're never gonna scale without the help. Obviously, in the beginning, you got to wear a lot of hats and do a lot of different tasks and jobs. But once you're profitable enough to hire somebody to take some of that off your plate, it makes a world of difference. So I think that people just have to, yeah, just know that. Just dive in to hiring good people, not just hiring your buddy or your friend because of whatever, but actually have a good job description, job title, job duties in mind. Okay, if I have this person, they're going to be able to help me with this, this, and this.
Mhm.
That's going to take that off my plate. And then I can focus more on sales or growth or procedures and processes. But yeah, the right people in the right places is huge. People you can count on, people that you can say, hey, we need to get this project done, or hey, we need to take care of this task,
Mhm.
and you don't have to second guess it. The loyalty there, that's a big deal as well. So I think that's a must. I think you got to have those strong people that are accountable, that are professional, that can make things happen to a allow you to not have a heart attack by running a business, yeah, and b just to keep things moving. And slowly, business gets a little bigger. You can add
Mhm.
another person, and then a little while later, you can add another person to do another
Yeah.
set of tasks. So it's very, very important in my opinion to have those right people in the right places and know in the beginning what you need, what kind of roles you need to fill to keep growth alive.
Fantastic. Jacob, it sounds like you've had some pretty incredible people in your life that you've been blessed with as part of your journey. If they were all on the show here today, what would you want to say to them?
I'd tell them thank you for the support, thank you for the pressure at times. Yeah, I just thank them. I'm eternally grateful. Without those people, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So yeah, I just come with that with a lot of gratitude for them, for their words, for their encouragement.
Wonderful. Well, hey, Jacob, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, thanks so much, Tim. Great. And thanks for having me.
To everyone who tuned in, thanks for listening to the Self-Made is a Myth show with your host, Coach Tim Campsell. Be sure to help spread the movement by liking the show and posting about it on your social media. And to join our movement, go to bemadtogether.com. All right, folks, that's a wrap. Make sure to pay it forward, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.
See you later.